Peace, y'all. What's going on? It's your boy Rashawn, and this is the Space Invaders TV channel here. Peace and blessings to y'all, man. Peace be with you in your homes as well. Hey, man, make sure you tell a friend to subscribe to the Space Invaders TV channel here. Y'all know the vibe, y'all know the conversation. We talk about many different issues. But I'm gonna get right into it. I want to talk about the Andrew Brown case, the police raid that happened down in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and yeah, man. So today is April the 28th, 2021, and earlier this afternoon, the judge denied the release of the body camera. Now, being a resident myself here in North Carolina, I know about, see, the body camera thing. North Carolina is one of those states that they want to keep a heavy hand on that. They want to dictate that whole thing and want to release it when they want to release it at their own discretion. It's not even about nothing with the public or nothing. They care nothing about the public. It's all about they want to release it when they want to release it, or if it's in the police department's best interest. Because listening to it today, and being that I'm a resident of North Carolina, see, I was privy to different footage that the rest of the country and the world weren't privy to. So I was able to listen in when the judge was speaking and when he actually denied the media the rights to get that footage. And like he told the media, because the media had a petition that they signed, that they wanted to get the footage and so it got denied because I guess whatever the laws in North Carolina, the media doesn't. There's no need for the media. The media don't have to have that footage. That's what they say, okay? But just getting right to it, the prosecutor on the case, and his name is Andrew Womble. Now he was speaking, and he was the one that was basically like, no, Your Honor, we don't need to, release this footage. And what. I'm a resident here, you know what I'm saying? So it's not shocking to me, like, what I'm hearing, you know what I mean? And the talk, and that good old boy system, that good old boy talk. And their only concern was about the police identity, the public's perception of the police, those officers. And it was the guy, the prosecutor Andrew Womble, was telling the judge, and he's saying like, yeah, those officers have been their lives has been threatened. How are their lives threatened if nobody don't know who they are? Maybe the people there in Elizabeth City may know who those cops are, but from footage I've seen from the police camera, from the city cameras that was above the light pole, and caught just a little bit of the footage of that raid that morning. Couldn't quite see everything. But you seen when they hit the corner in the pickup truck, and but you couldn't see much from that city camera. It was like if you're in your cities may have those cameras. A lot of cities across the country have installed those cameras now, where the police department could tap into them. So that camera was only showing one angle. It was like one. It was just in one angle. So you couldn't even see up the block where it actually happened at. You could see them when they turned into that block from that city camera, but you couldn't see actually what was going on. So, they're like, oh yeah, those officers, they've been threatened and their lives. Bull crap. You trying to save, and then then there was comments made about not saying that those comments were made today during that during that hearing with the judge or whatever, but there were comments made, I think, around Monday about those. I don't know if Womble made that comment or not. I can't quite remember, but it was comments like, those cops did the right thing. You shot that man in the back of the head. I seen the tire tracks in his driveway going through the grass. From the claims are that y'all jumped out soon as y'all boots hit the ground, when y'all jumped out the back of the pickup that y'all were hanging out of. Soon as your boots hit the ground, y'all start shooting at the man, and he was already in his vehicle, and he was sitting in his vehicle, and you guys jumped out, and you're talking about put your hands up to him, but he had his hands on the steering wheel, and you guys, they were shooting him. These were the sheriff department. They were shooting at him, boots on the ground, and telling him to put his hands up, but he had his hands on the steering wheel. He never did anything. Then from the sources, and a lot of people are saying, that he was, after a while, like, I guess, they shooting at him. He's like, man, he trying to get away. Like, yo, these jokers is trying to, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, it don't turn into something else, and he probably like, yo, these jokers trying to kill me. You know what I'm saying? And he probably trying to get up out of there. So he trying to get up out of there. And I said this last week, briefly, when I spoke about it. If he wasn't using the vehicle as a weapon and trying to run you guys over with that weapon, with that vehicle, then why if he wasn't coming towards you guys, which, I seen the footage of the road, what the road looked like. I seen the driveway. It's a narrow road. It's no way so he went backwards, and you can see the tire marks in the grass and things of that nature. And then now today they saying, you had the prosecutor, Andrew Womble, the prosecutor for Pasquotank County, which is Elizabeth City, which Elizabeth City is in. You had that prosecutor for that county, Andrew Womble, saying that, hold on, let me go here. Yeah, Andrew Womble says that, and Andre Brown, he hit one of the officers. He hit police with his car. Nobody heard about the police going to the hospital. Nobody heard anything about any police going to the hospital. But what we did hear is, you heard about several officers. A couple of them were assigned to desk duty, and you had about 4 of them straight up quit. So if they did everything by the law, why would they quit? Why are you hiding? Why you guys just won't, show the tape, man? You know what I mean? And understanding the climate and what's going on in the country right now, and having transparency, and having, you want to build a trust with community, then if you did everything right, then show the tape. But when you shoot somebody in the back of the head, you executed that man. You shot that man in the back of the head. Y'all jumped out the vehicle from what multiple sources saying you jumped out that vehicle. And y'all jumped out of them vehicles and start gunning that man down. Like, it happened all in 30 seconds. Yo, that's what it's. That's what all the sources saying. It happened in 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying, man? So it's like, come on now. Come on now. You know, so what it sounded like to me, Andrew Brown Jr. was backing away after you guys start dumping off shots at him because his couple of shots hit him in the arm or what have you. He tried to get away from you because he's like, okay, what's going on? These guys trying to kill me. What the heck? He's trying to get away from you. So you guys run behind the moving vehicle. He's backing up. Yo, you guys probably ran behind the moving vehicle. The Pasquotank sheriffs, y'all ran behind a moving vehicle and then straight shot, kill shot to the head, back of the head. How do you explain that? If somebody's getting away from, obviously, if you shot somebody in the back of the head, obviously they were running away from you, right? They either running away from you or they didn't even suspect you behind them, right? Nobody has been charged. None of the sheriffs has been charged in this case. And then you got Wambu, the prosecutor down there, Wambu, Andrew Wambu. He's talking about, you know, yeah, if we don't want to release the video. You know, we at least want to wait 30 days. You know, this is the, you know, it's gonna taint the mind of the public, and it's gonna taint the mind of possible jury selection. It's you know, he's making up all of these excuses. That good old boy talk. You know, he's trying to make up all these excuses and assumptions. How do you know? And he's like, oh, the public is a difference from a need and a want, and the public doesn't need to see the footage. How you gonna say what the public don't need and need? You're a prosecutor. You're gonna need the public to sit on the stand for that case. That's what you're gonna need. But you can't sit here and say, you know, if you've done everything by law, Andrew Wambu, if everything was done by the law, by the book, then there's nothing nobody should have to worry about. You shouldn't have to worry about what the public say. The public, people are very smart. We have video now. You have camera now. You have body camera now. The public paid for those cameras for you guys to wear them, right? So the public has every right to feel what they feel. But even if the public is feeling a certain way and you guys did the right thing, then nobody can contest it. You know, that's the point of the body cameras, is having transparency to build that trust with the public, with the community, with the city, you know what I mean, with your states. Building that trust. That's what those cameras are there for, to show that you are doing your job properly. But since these cameras, the public has been able to see it all, and it's a great thing you have these cameras, because it's like you can't hide it. And you guys are so, these officers, these policemen are so freaking crazy that the cameras, you recording your own actions, man. These recordings are coming from you. It's on your body. These are your actions. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame anybody, but it's funny how these guys automatically quit. We had a couple of them quit. I thought that I've read that it was 7 officers that quit, and a couple of them was on desk duty. But now they're saying a couple of them were on desk duty, and 4 of them quit. You know, I want to guarantee you, the 4 of them probably came right from that pickup, the pickup that they were riding on the back of for a freaking drug warrant. You would what? The guy Andrew Brown Jr. What was that a warrant for? He probably missed a court date. He probably missed a court date and you guys ran down like it was, you know what I'm saying? Like this was a big drug bust or something. Come on, man. Come on, man. And it's funny how you put all of that man's business out there, put his picture out there and everything, but meanwhile you talking about you wanna blur the faces of the sheriffs, the Pasquotank sheriff officers that were on that raid. You want to blur their faces out and their names out. Well, I got something for you, Mr. Womble. People, whenever they get charged, they're gonna have to get charged. And I hope the feds, when they get in on this case, I hope they take all the computers and everything, because just like we heard, like there was you guys tampered with the footage as well. Okay, the footage was tampered with. The family only got to see 20 seconds. You showed the family 20 seconds, and they didn't really see anything out of that 20 seconds. So you try to play the family out. I pray and hope that that Brown family gets justice. I hope they get justice. And I want to say another thing. They were going to release it. The judge did grant the son and one of their family attorneys, Andrew Brown's son, will be able to get a copy of the footage or whatever, but he is not to he can't get it for like 30 days or something like that. So that was something that the prosecutor put in, like they don't want to release it for 30 days. And so the judge granted everything they said. He granted everything and didn't grant no side to the people. They didn't take no side. Another thing that I noticed about that judge is you're a liar too. You went off the stand at 11:45. Let me say 11:50 at the latest, and you said 15-20 minutes you'll be back. You didn't come back on that stand until about 30, almost 40 minutes later. Okay. And then when you come back with your response, you came back with that. See, when you dealing with these towns and you dealing in the South, man, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, because I'm from the North and I reside here in the South now. And let me tell you what I noticed, man, in my time here, and I've been here for 20 plus years now, okay? See, what happened is the city like that, it's a city, but they operate like a small town. You know what I'm saying? Their government operate like a small town because who all works in those positions, the one judge in that city and all of that, stuff like that. See, they all play golf and all of that together, okay? And see, they talking. And see, you had that Andrew Womble talking about people gonna be making assumptions and people gonna be talking and it can taint. Man, listen, body cameras are on police departments, on officers all across this country. There's been things going on all across this country. If it's the law, if you done everything by the book, then ain't nothing the public can't sway anything. Okay? The jury's gonna have to look at it anyhow. When you pick a jury, when you get them, they're gonna have to look at it at some point anyway. Those officers, you're trying to blur their faces out, the people are gonna see them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Whenever they bring charges up on them. But I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna wrap it with this, with the Andrew Brown Jr. case, and I just pray that the family gets justice and transparency for the rest of this case right here. And I hope the feds step in and do what they need to do too. They need to move that case from Pasquotank County. They need to move that case from there. It needs to be moved from that county, man, because just from hearing about the footage being tampered with, just from what I heard from that prosecutor Andrew Womble, it's not gonna go well. Those cops might, those sheriffs might will mess around and walk. Because if they did everything right, why would they quit? And then he's worrying about what the public is saying and hiding these officers' identity, not releasing their names, not showing their faces, but they killed someone. They killed someone. And you want to hide and worrying about their identity, worrying about them getting threats, worried about what the public. No, man, this is on the national stage, and you know what happens to with small-minded people like Mr. Andrew Womble, prosecutor, and those people like him. You know what happens in the town, cities, small cities, and like him. You know what happens? See, they shut out from the rest of the country of what's really going on, and they're not focused on what's they. You know, they be locked in their own world and not focused really, and not paying attention. I would say to not what's really been going on around the country. And see, what people like him think. Nobody's gonna come to our county, and nobody's not gonna come down to our state and tell us what to do. You know, it's that mentality. It's that ignorance. So that case needs to be moved from Pasquotank County and moved to a whole nother county. Go to Raleigh. Get up out of there, because it's not gonna work. You can't even be close to there. It needs to come up out of that. It needs to come out of that county, because it's not gonna get it. It's not gonna get its just. It's not gonna have a proper people on the jury. It's gonna be lopsided. Get them up out of there. Get them up out of there. It's not that. So whoever the lawyers are for the Brown family, get that case up out of there, man. Because me just looking at what listen to what I heard today, just in that hearing about releasing the tape, I already can see right now. And you're gonna have to have the state gonna have to actually really step in and really, all I'm saying, you're gonna need some state representatives on this case that would like the state lawyers on the George Floyd case. See, when you got lawyers like that, when it's state lawyers like that ain't playing no games, that's going to uphold the law. And see, that was like a dream team, because they had lawyers, they pulled lawyers from different, so them lawyers was from different backgrounds, like different areas of that state, and different expertise that those lawyers had. See, you're going to have to pull something like that. And you're going to have to make an example out of them, man. Because they've been real disrespectful. But they gonna learn today. Yeah, Pasquotank County, the sheriffs, y'all gonna learn that this a new world, man. It's a new day. And this video footage, you cannot manipulate it. If you are, you're not even supposed to touch that. That's breaking the law. Again, you know what I'm saying? So y'all can hold on to the tape as long as y'all want, but at some point understand this, that y'all gonna have to, it's got to get released. It's gonna get released. Y'all gonna have to show it, but I just want to say this to the Brown family: when you do get the tape, don't release the tape. Don't let that tape leak out, because you don't want nothing to for any way for them to try to throw the case out. Because listen to them talking. That's where they're ultimately gonna go. That's what they're gonna be shooting for. That they're gonna be looking for that. You know what I'm saying? When those cops are brought up on charges, they're gonna be looking for that. They're gonna be looking for that. They're gonna be looking for the least littlest thing to have that case thrown out. You know what I mean? So don't let that tape leak out when you get it. And that's just my final on that, man. Peace and blessings to y'all. And may Andrew Brown Jr., man, rest. But I hope he rests in peace once y'all get the justice and get all the information that y'all need and transparency in this case. Now, moving on real quick, too, man, I want to talk about Ma'khai Bryant, the young girl that was fatally shot down in Columbus, Ohio. Now listen, right? So I was hearing so many different things, and I just wanted to speak on that again about the young lady. It's so funny how we got our people, man, that, you know, the oppressor, we always got to think logic when it comes to the oppressor trying to oppress us. We got to think logic. Why we got to think logic? Why we gotta make sense? Why the oppressed has to make sense for the oppressed, the oppressor? I don't understand. So we got our people out here talking about, oh, he saved a life. He was in a rock and a hard place. Man, this dude been on the force. He ain't even had 2 years in. Okay? He made a rookie mistake. I'm gonna take the mistake. No mistake ain't no death. You just can't take nobody's life mistake. He made a rookie move. Okay? He only been on the force since 2019. He made a rookie move. Like I said, when you watch that video, it's 2 times when that man, that officer, that cop could have jumped on that young girl. If you're looking at his body camera, when you're looking at the footage, you're looking at his body camera. You're walking with him, looking. When he steps off the car, when he gets out the car, he steps in the car, he's like, oh, before he steps in the car, he's like, oh. Michaela is falling on the ground. She had charged the girl. They fell on the ground. That was a moment right there. He could have just dived on a young girl. Okay, he missed that opportunity. So then you see this other guy out there. There's people saying that was her father. I don't know. He's kicking that same girl. He didn't do anything to him, but he focused on her. I get it. She got a weapon in her hand. She's about to... Okay. Now, this is another prime opportunity for him to just jump on her, pull the taser out or whatever. But everybody is making... The oppressed is making excuses for the oppressor. It's just like, oh, if he would have shot her with the taser, then she would have fell on the girl and she could have... What? Oh, if he would have shot her in the leg, she could have fell on her... What? If he would have tried to shoot her in the arm or in the hand, she could have possibly still... What? Like, y'all making all type of excuses. The oppressed is making all types of excuses for the oppressor. And then I watch the fans of the oppressor stand to the side and like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You sound stupid. Like, this guy is trained. You don't have to always, you ain't got to, people say, oh, they trained to kill. What? We ain't in combat. What are y'all talking about? This ain't a war zone. They making it to be a war zone. They're painting that. This ain't a war zone. What are you talking about? They train to kill. No, they're not. They train for safety. They train to be safe. They ain't trained to kill. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're choosing to do. You have choices. Yeah. When she pulled that gun, that knife, she had it. Her arm was cocked back. Ma'khai Bryant, the young 16-year-old girl. When she had her arm cocked back again, and the girl's against the car, that was another prime. The time it took for him to pull that gun out of his holster and then point it, aim it, and shoot. He could have ran down on that young girl and tackled her on the ground. She was zoned out, blacked out. Do y'all know what blacked out means? When somebody blacks out? She blacked out. Blackout don't mean you pass out and she was in the zone. She never even looked up at that cop when he was she never heard him. She was going in. She got up. She got up when she knocked the first girl down in front of him. She got up, went to the other girl. She never even looked at him. You are the cop. Okay, I'm her. This is the girl on the ground. This is the other girl. She rushed to the ground. He's coming. I'm knocked her down. Went straight to her. Never looked in the camera. So she's never looking. Her back's turned, right? Prime example. Prime time. She don't know nobody's coming behind her. And she frankly don't care. She's about to go in. But he could have came, grabbed her arm. Okay? Even if he didn't knock her down, even if he didn't want to tackle her, he could have ran up on her and grabbed her arm. Okay? And subdued her. Okay? Put her in the cuff or something. Okay? Come on, man. Yeah, people say, oh, those adults was hanging around. All right, that's either here or there. The cops were called. Okay? So that was their job to come in and do their job. All right? Them adults, we see what that was, whatever that was. I don't know who was what. All I know is when I first seen the video, I seen the dude. I thought he was a teenager. Not a teenager, but I thought he was a young man, like in his 20s, with the brief view that I seen. But I seen him kicking the young girl twice. Nobody said nothing about that. The cop didn't even do nothing. But I understand he seen this young girl with a weapon. He focused in on her. So, but he should have seen that when she was on the ground. When he first walked up and she knocked homegirl on the ground. He should have jumped on that girl then. It could have been finished right there. So all I'm saying, man, is people saying a lot of stuff and making all these excuses like, oh, but he saved a life. If that was my daughter, I would want him. Yes, we all would. We all would. But you could have saved everyone's life that day. Not just the one or the two girls. You could have saved everybody's life that day. That young girl could have been alive today. But you know why? Because it was a rookie mistake. And I keep saying mistake, but I don't want. It was a rookie move. Okay? These cops are getting in these situations, and the training is not even. And people say, "Oh, yeah, well, you could go to training, but all of that's it's not supposed to though. It's not supposed to. Well, you supposed to control yourself. Have mental control. Have mental control. When you see something going down, you gotta be able to think. You got to be able to think on your toes. That's called thinking on your toes. These cops that are shooting and killing these folks, they're not thinking on their toes. Their emotions are thinking for them. They're not thinking on their toes. You got the officer down in that killed Dante Wright, the young man. Yeah, we got to keep it real. And what we see, and I'd like to talk about everything what I see on that situation. Yes, that the young man shouldn't have tried to run. That was a bad move right there, because you really put yourself in a situation where, you know, the two officers that you originally got squeezed through, they could have pulled out on you, because they could have felt like their life was in danger at that point, and you was trying to jump back in the car and get something. But that's either here or there. The cop that shot him, the lady cop shot him, she was a trainer. You've been on the force for how many years? 26 years? And you was training somebody that day? So they had to see, you was training, and you let your emotions take over so much that you didn't even know what weapon you grabbed. That's what you gonna take to the pig. That's what you rolling with. So, okay. So I tried to see, and I said, okay, yeah, I was like, yeah, either she's a great actor, or I seen how the taser was up on home. I seen how the gun, she had it too close for her she wouldn't have to be that close with the gun. So she let the emotions take over her. And she wasn't thinking at all. You know what I mean? You gotta think on your toes. I understand being an officer. I'm not saying if somebody's shooting at you and causing you danger, yeah, as an officer, you gotta protect yourself. It's a dangerous job. I understand that. I'm not ignorant to that at all, and I'm not saying anything. Like, no. Being an officer, hey, big up to all of you that put your lives on the line, man, and that ain't out there trying to kill every person that you pull over or person that you come in contact with. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't trying to be a butthead to every person that you pull over. And understanding that, you gotta treat people as you would want to be treated, or as you would want your family member to be treated if they get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? You would want them to be pulled, be treated with respect. But the thing is, you have some of these officers that are acting like the people are the enemy. They're acting like the people are the enemy. Whatever the case. And just because somebody has a bad rap or record or whatever, they're still a human being. They're still a person. And you still gotta you should treat everyone with respect. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's just the same way. Like, oh, so you just gonna treat the janitor like a piece of crap because he's the janitor? You're not gonna treat him like a human being, but you'll treat the bank teller like a goddess, but you'll treat your waiter or your barmaid like a king or queen, but you won't give that same to the maintenance guy, to the janitor. Come on, man. You gotta treat everybody with respect, man, until they disrespect you. But when you got people running around like hotheads, and you got people that don't, like I said, man, that's why I said last week when I talked, and I was like, I feel like these officers need to go into training for. I mean, if you ask me, I think the general public should be able to vote on it. It should be anywhere from 18 months to 24 months. They should be in training, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of things need to be evaluated in that training, mentally, seriously. Because obviously what we're seeing here is some mental things going on. And these cops need to be trained mentally. Like, you need to focus on their mental, man. How is things going in their life? Because what's going on with them? But like I said, man, yeah, you can't make excuses for the oppressor, and that's what I'm saying with people making. So I wanted to speak on that. Ma'khai Bryant. I'm sorry, I keep saying Brown. Ma'khai Bryant, the young lady, teenager that was shot in Columbus, Ohio, the 16-year-old. A lot of people were saying a lot of just ignorant stuff, man. Like, and forgetting, like, hey, this cop, he was trained for this. They're taking this thing out of context about if somebody is a threat, but she had a knife, okay? And they give you a taser for a reason, right? You could go tackle somebody. You could tackle someone, knock them down. I mean, why are we making all of these other excuses of why? Oh, that's stupid. How is that stupid when they get trained these things? So you think he went through training and he never had to knock someone down in training? Like, they didn't go through that? You don't think that they used the taser in training? You don't think none of that? So you just think when they go on the training, they just go on like combat? You're talking about they train to kill. What? You gotta deal with citizens, man. Between train to kill, like we out, like we out in a war zone somewhere, man. Like this combat. Come on, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, it might be on the books, like, hey, you gotta defend your. Yeah, it might be on the books that, hey, yeah, if somebody is using a weapon and they're endangering the life of somebody else, yeah, we ought to. But when somebody has a knife, a freaking butter knife type, whatever, come on, man. Just saying, you bring a knife to a gunfight. Like, that's laughable. It's not even like, why would I pull a gun? You're going to pull a gun out and kill her. Whether you knew if she was a teenager or not, it was a woman. I don't see that happening to white women. I don't see that happening to white men. But I see our people making these daggone excuses for the oppressor. Like, as the system. Come on, man. Like, and people like, you give logic thinking and logic answers, and you say, hey man, that cop could have shot her in the leg. Why you had to shoot her 4 times? 1 time would have stopped her. Hell, you could have shot her in the butt. None of that. They're like, oh, that's stupid. She could have did this. Come on, man. If that was my daughter, she'd say, come on, man. Come on, man. First of all, none of us know the full situation because we wasn't there.